Good afternoon, students. This is John again, and today I am going to correct two pieces of writing from one student. These are both responses to IELTS speaking tasks 2 and 3. You can see the questions and the students' answers printed below. Highlighted areas in bold have mistakes or need improvements. And don't forget, if you are listening to this on YouTube, you can click on subtitles or transcript to see the text. So let's look at the first question. Describe a memorable experience you had as a child. Paragraph 1. I remember a wonderful childhood experience when I visited Japan with my elder sister. Here it may be a good idea to give a time frame to this story. So the writer might say, visited Japan with my elder sister when I was 14 years old. Next sentence, I love Japan and Japanese people very much because they are very kind and generous. Furthermore, Japan is a really fantastic country, full of interesting nature and classic and modern styles. Now the writer should remember here that they are trying to describe a memorable experience they had as a child, not so much a description of Japan. Remember, you need to be talking about why the experience was interesting and exciting for you, so you should be giving more personal details. So at the beginning of paragraph 2, I'm going to add some information. Here it is now. I did many things on this wonderful trip with my sister, including visiting many exciting places. Then continuing with the writer's paragraph, the first place I visited was Uji, Kyoto. It was a very romantic place and I saw a Japanese wedding ceremony in classical Japanese style. In addition, I went to see the Byodo-in Temple, which is a World Heritage Site. It was the largest temple in Kyoto, and I could see the phoenix bird, which symbolized progress. Sometimes here the writer is using I, sometimes she is using we. Remember that she started the story saying she went with her sister, so it's probably best to use we rather than I in all sentences. Moving on to paragraph 3. We tasted various Japanese foods such as okonomiyaki or Japanese pizza, takoyaki, sushi, ramen and sashimi. The Japanese food was very delicious and liked it very much. Later we went shopping both in department stores and marketplaces. The products were really expensive but very high quality. Next sentence, we don't need moreover here. We can just begin the Japanese were very kind and helpful. One day when we got lost, or you could say one day when we lost our way, the Japanese people gave us correct directions and we were able to find our way back to our hotel. There I'm giving more information to make the idea clearer. For all of the above reasons, I love Japan and Japanese people very much, and my visit to Japan with my sister was a fantastic and wonderful experience which I will never forget. I've added a few details there to make the answer better. The answer is okay. I would recommend though that the writer tries to stick to just one idea but goes into that idea in more detail. I think the story about getting lost and how the Japanese people helped her would have been a more interesting way to answer the question. So we could have begun, for example, we did many things on our wonderful trip, including shopping, going to a traditional wedding ceremony, and also trying some of the Japanese cuisine. Japanese cuisine, cuisine. However, when we were trying to get back to our hotel, we got completely lost. My sister started crying and I began to panic. Some Japanese people saw our distress and came over to speak with us. When they realized what was wrong, they were really helpful and escorted us back to our hotel. Escorted us. This will always stick in my memory as one of the most generous and kind things which anyone has ever done for me. I think that would be a more interesting way to answer that part of the question. Moving on to the next question, which is a task 3 speaking question. Some people say the experiences we have as a child determine the kind of adult we become. Do you agree? Paragraph 1. I agree with this idea because now the rest of this sentence is not very clear. It's actually repetitive. Let me give a better sentence. I agree with this idea because I have seen many people who have become good or bad adults resulting from their childhood experiences. For example, I have had a good experience with my family. The next sentence is not clear. My parents would not praise in front of me, but told me that this was goodness, and if you were the good person, everyone talked praise to you in front and backside. I think the writer is trying to say something like, if you do good things, people may not praise you directly, but in the end they know you are a good person, and this will lead them to behave well with you. So I think maybe what the writer is saying here is that her family taught her that doing good things are their own reward. If you are a good person, people will treat you well. Paragraph 2. If I did something wrong or made a mistake, they would hit me and tell me that this was a very bad thing and I should not do it again, semicolon. This punishment would make me remember and I would not do the wrong thing again. Well, this answer is a little bit confusing. I think again the writer would do better just to stick to one simple idea. The writer is mostly talking about if parents punish their children, this will change the children's behavior. But that's not really what the question is asking about. The question is asking something like, if the children were punished, for example by being beaten when they were kids, maybe when they grew up they would also beat their own kids. That would be the clearer cause-effect relationship. So if the writer wants to discuss this idea, it would be better to do it like this. I agree that the experiences we have as children will determine what kind of adults we become. For example, my parents were very strict with me. If I did something wrong, they would punish me, often by beating me with a big stick. This would make me remember the thing that I had done wrong and make me not want to do it again. Now I have my own kids, I repeat the same strategy. The ideas I learned from my parents about how to look after and teach children, I now use with my own kids. Whether this is good or bad, I'm not sure, but it is clear that what happened to me when I was a kid has influenced the person I am now enormously. I think that would be a clearer description of the relationship between childhood experience and adult life. Okay, that's the end. Thank you for listening and good luck with your next assignment. Bye bye.